previous meeting. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start in child's pose. So we're going to take a slightly wider child's pose. So the knees at hip width apart, the feet together, and you might want your blanket just resting in your hip creases there, maybe have a cushion out in front. Just find a nice comfortable child's pose. Maybe turning the palms to face up, resting on the elbows. So just have a nice wriggle about, get yourselves comfortable in that child's pose. There we go. Okay. So child's pose, a really great way to start the practice. Nice, introspective, safe pose. Feeling cocooned here in your egg shape, facing the ground. Most of the body in contact with the ground, so that you know you're held. A lovely centering pose. And so to help you ground a bit further, taking that attention inside, first of all noticing your physical body, checking in physically. Anybody that did power yoga last night, you're probably feeling it. So we're going to do much more releasing today. Less about stability, more just about letting go. Also taking a scan of your emotional body, noticing what's going on for you today. Try to allow whatever feelings are there, particularly the difficult ones. The book I'm reading at the moment, she found yoga in, I think it was her 30s. And she said all she did for her first class was think of ways that she could get out of the class, get off that mat, get out of the room. And she stayed. And that staying on the mat was staying with herself. All of the messy imperfection, really difficult place to hide from yourself on the mat, particularly in a yin practice where we're still and the intention is to notice, to be receptive to what's really going on. So it's even more important to know that you're safe and you're held, that you can bring yourself back if you become overwhelmed. And the poses, as well as the way that we hold the poses, are a great way to do this. But our most effective tool is the breath. And so start to deepen your breath here. As you take the breath deep down, feel the belly press against the thighs or the blanket. Feel the back round, heart drop towards the floor. Feeling the breath go up into those shoulders, and as you exhale, just let it go through the mouth. Nice big breaths in through the nose, and let it go through the mouth. Let's take 5 more of these in child's pose. Last one here. Now we're going to transition into tadpole, which is a really easy transition. We're just going to walk those hands over to the right side. So coming into this kind of side bend variation of your child's pose. Feeling a lovely big stretch down the left side of the body. Just holding on both sides here for 5. Now noticing as you take those breaths deep down where you feel the release in your body. I'm going to work with the hips today, but involved in this is not just the direct hip area, but using the spine and the legs. One more breath here. Bring yourself back into center on an inhale, and as you exhale, walk yourself over to the left, feeling that stretch now through the right side of the body. Enjoying that through that right shoulder. Two more breaths here. Coming back to center. And then from here, we're going to lift up all 4s. Bring those knees a bit closer together now. So knees directly underneath the hips. Let me move my props, they're in the way, you can't see me. You might want your block out in front just to catch your head. And we're going to come into melting heart. So walking those hands forward, keeping the hips above the knees and melting your heart down towards the ground. Maybe catching your head with the block, or maybe just bringing the head directly on the floor. Once again, it might feel nice for you to turn the palms up, bringing a slightly different sensation into the shoulders there. And just being careful that you support your lower back with some gentle core engagement, just to save an overcompression through lower back. So yesterday was a full moon and a lunar eclipse, the so-called strawberry moon. Full moon is a time to let go of what doesn't serve you, to create intentions. And this particular full moon, so-called the strawberry full moon, as it's in Sagittarius, is about using that fire to find your true voice, and possibly already been working hard on this. And the strawberry representing the fruits of your labour. It's time to pick that fruit and move into that person or that space in your life that you've been working hard on, letting go of anything else that's holding you back. Take another 5 breaths here. You may notice as you start to pay attention inside, and you can become more affected by what's going on outside of you. Like an increased sensitivity to nature, and by this practice of going inside, you do become more sensitive. But you can cope, you can do hard things. This is where your strength is. Through that paying attention, noticing, speaking the truth. Okay, so bring your hands back onto the mat if you have the palms turned up. And from here, we're going to come back up. Take a moment. And then from here, coming onto your back. So just a gentle sit down onto your hips and then lie down. Take one of your blocks or a cushion and we're going to bring that underneath your sacrum. So just take a low level. You needn't work too hard here. You're just going to open up the front of the hips and come into a gentle recline back bend. Now it might feel too much for you here to stretch those legs out in front, which is fine. You can just bend your knees. You're still going to get this opening here. And turning the palms to face up, the arms stretch down the body. Or you might want to bring your hands onto your heart, that's fine. You do what feels right for you. Once again, as you come into the breath, those breaths nice and deep. Notice where you feel the breath in your body, how taking that breath in helps you become aware of what's going on in your physical body. Nice deep breaths. Sometimes when we stop listening to our bodies through various numbing activities, you start to lose the knowledge of who you really are, what you've been through, because you've disconnected from those memories that are held in your body. And as you start to become aware, it can be a bit scary. And you realise that your whole story is not just in your head, it's bound up in your body, in the cells, the tissues. so tempting to continue to numb away from your truth. But actually living out of your body and in your mind is a much more difficult place. I'm not saying that one is easier than the other overall, but one definitely is more effective. We tend to hold a lot of that emotional energy, the emotional experiencing of what you've been through tends to get held in the hips if it's not processed. Noticing here if anything's coming up for you. As you expose yourself now, lying facing upward. If anything feels too difficult, just try to watch your breath. Watch where the breath starts to disrupt tension in the body on the inhale. And as you exhale, let it go. 3 more breaths here. When you've taken those 3 breaths, bend the knees, pressing the feet into the ground. Take your time. A really slow and mindful release here. Lifting those hips up by pressing into the feet. Remove your block and come down onto the back from the top. Feel the lower back, sacrum, and a gentle rock back and forward of the pelvis there, just to ease out. And then from here, we're going to cross your right ankle over the left knee. Keep your right foot flexed just to protect your knee. And then lifting up head and shoulders, just nice and gently. We're going to take hold, take hold around the back of the knee, threading your right arm through, interlacing the fingers around the back of that knee or the thigh and bringing the head and shoulders back down. And you can clamp that lower leg towards your thigh there so that you feel the hand nicely held by the leg. And if you want to experience a little more here, you can press your right elbow into the thigh. Try to make sure that your sacrum's not lifting up off the ground. And some of you may want to take hold around the shin there. Those who are a little more supple and need to work a bit harder to find that release. Coming back into your breath. We tend to hold a lot of tension around the sides and the backs of the hips. So this may be uncomfortable for you. I don't want you to feel any sharp stabbing pain, but there should be a level of discomfort. Nothing sharp or stabbing, more like a dull ache. Take your breath to where you feel that discomfort. And see if you can let go a little more with every exhalation. 5 breaths here. Nice big breaths. Releasing the hands, release the left foot down and bring that right foot back onto the ground. Might feel nice here to take the feet a bit wider and just rock those knees side to side, windscreen wiper in. And then when you're ready, crossing your left ankle over right knee, coming into your figure four on the other side, lifting up head and shoulders, taking hold round the back of the knee or the thigh, closing the knee there, bringing head and shoulders back down, keeping your left foot flexed just to protect that knee, and making sure the sacrum's on the ground, and maybe gently encouraging that left knee away as you press your left elbow into that left thigh, drawing the right knee closer towards the chest. And you might want to take hold around the front of that shin there. A benefit of being a little tighter in the outer hips here is that you can take these variations that are a little easier to achieve because you don't need that extra depth. Not a nice way to think about the tension that's in your body. You don't have to work as hard to find the release. And settle in here. Nice deep breaths. If you find the quieter practice of Yin quite difficult on an emotional level, it's a good sign that you probably need to do more of this. Being with your body and emotions in quietude is essential to know your truth. Our hearts long for us to pay attention to what's really been going on in that non-judgmental, warm and empathic way. Being curious about your reactions rather than judgmental, particularly those really difficult things that you don't understand. What's the good reason that I might be doing this? Having a curious inquiry rather than judging can assist you in finding the truth. Another 2 breaths here. And when you're done releasing the hands, release the right foot down. uncrossing that left leg, taking the feet a little wider and windscreen wipering one side to the next. Okay, so we're coming into your final yin pose here, working on both sides, coming into a nice twist. So we're going to cross the right leg over the left, lifting those hips a little over to the right, keeping your arms out to the sides, and then let those legs fall over to the left side, keeping shoulder blades and arms on the ground, head looking up, creating the twist using your hips. Nice deep breaths here. Once you show that your shoulder blades are on the ground, then you can maybe bring your arms over the body and give yourself a little hug. That can feel nice. Be kind to yourself. Another 5 breaths here. You're ready to release, bring those arms back down, press the hips into the ground and bring the hips back into centre, unravelling the legs, maybe hugging the knees towards the chest, drawing a couple of circles there, one way and then the next. And then we're going to move on to the other side, so crossing your left leg over the right, knees together. You can hook that foot around the back of the calf there if that feels okay for you. Arms out to the side, lifting those hips over to the left, and then let the knees drop over to the right. Take your time here as you move from twisting in one direction to the other. It can feel quite intense, so take it easy. Making sure both shoulder blades are on the ground, and if you want to give yourself a little hug, just bringing those arms over the body. And breathe. Five more breaths here. When you're ready to release, bringing the arms out to the side, bringing those hips back to centre, unravelling the legs, And hugging the knees towards your chest. A couple of circles one way. And in the other direction. And then from here, coming over onto one side, making sure that your block is up at the top right hand corner, and then remove all your other props away. You shouldn't need anything but your blanket until later. So moving into the Yang section now, we're going to come to seated and cross the legs in front. And just take a moment here in seated to prepare yourself to move into the Yang section of the class. So Yang is a lighter, more flowing energy. We're going to keep that theme of the moon, but bring in a different kind of feel. So maybe starting to connect with the intense power of the moon through flowing movements, continually moving rather than long static holds. You choose whichever breath works for you. I invite you to use those same inhales through the nose and exhales through the mouth. But if something else works better for you, that's fine. I'm going to try and embrace that feminine nature in the moon. So lots of undulating movements, making the movements big, expansive, allowing a deeper release. Still building some heat through the movements to represent that fire. One more breath here. And so from here, we're going to start circling the spine around the hips. So moving forward, out to the side, back, round to the other side. We're going to do 5 of these Sufi grinds, just starting to get a little deeper into the hips now. Get the juices flowing, nice big breaths. Make these movements as big as you like, and then we're going to reverse the direction. One more time. Coming back into center, and then from here we're going to lift the heart, bring the shoulder blades together, tip the head back, and then as you come forward, round in the back, bringing the elbows forward, chin to chest, inhale. So in these seated cat-cows here, working with the spine, opening the chest, and then as you come forward, round in the back. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the ribs away from the pelvis, tip the head back. Exhaling, shoulder blades move away from each other, belly contracts, chin to chest. 2 more. Last one. And then from here, we're going to rock forward, come onto the hands, and tuck the toes as you push back into downward facing dog. Let's do 5 breaths here where you bend both knees, inhale, exhale, push back, push into the hands, straighten the legs. Inhale, bend, exhale, pushing back. Inhale, bend. So working with the back of the legs, starting to work with a bit of upper body strength here. 1 more. Coming into downward facing dog, we're going to lift the right leg, bend the knee, bring the heel to the buttock and open out into your 3-leg dog. Maybe drawing some circles with that knee. And in the other direction. Bringing that foot down, easing out for a moment. And then we're going to lift the left leg, heel to bum, open out, and then some circles with that left knee. Do 3 or 4 one way, and then reverse the direction. I just need to take my socks off. I'm going to be sliding. Okay, from here, coming back into downward facing dog. And then we're going to walk up to the top of the mat, nice and slowly. From here, take your hands around the wrists, forearms or elbows. Elbows reach in towards the floor, let the head hang here. Neck relaxed. Rocking back and forward gently, maybe side to side. Once again, connecting with that ground beneath, through the toes, through the sides of the feet, the heels. And coming more into stillness, just for a couple of breaths. Keep reaching those elbows down. Lovely stretch through the sides of the body. Release the arms. And as you inhale, press through the heels, rising up, coming into your standing back bend. Nice and long. Reach through the hands. Protect lower back. And exhale as you fold in. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhaling as you step back into high plank. Choices here to move through chaturanga if you want to work with a bit more fire, or you can just go straight back to downward facing dog. From here, we're going to look to the top of the mat and walk or step to the top of the mat. Lengthen forward, inhale, and exhale, fold. Press through the heels, inhale, rise up. And exhaling as you fold. So this time we're going to add in a lunge. Lengthen forward, step the left foot back. From here, we're going to inhale as you lean forward into the hips. Exhale, going back into your Ardha Hanumanasana. Sit in the bum back. Inhale, come forward, drop the hips. Lift the heart. Exhale, going back, lift the right toes, sit back. Inhale, come forward, so walking the hands forward, sink the hips down, heart reaches forward. Exhale, go back. 2 more. One more. Coming back into the centre there. And we're going to step back either straight to down dog, or you can go high plank, then chaturanga, coming through into your cobra. We join in downward facing dog. From here, we're going to lift the left leg, and we're going to pulse that left leg up to the sky. Maybe drop the chest a bit lower. Two more. And then from here, bring the knee to the chest, coming forward into plank. Drop your left foot down, right knee comes down, and we do the other side. So inhale in, sink down, exhale, push back, lift those left toes, Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, coming forward, sink the hips down, heart forward. Exhale, go back, sitting on your right heel, lift left toes. 3 more. So constant movement, nice big movements, exploring as much as you can and synchronizing these movements with your breath. Last one here. Coming forward onto that left foot, and we're going to bring the hands forward as you kick your right leg high, pulsing that right leg up to the sky. And bend the knee, soften both knees as you bring the foot down. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale and fold. Inhale, press through the heels, rising up. And exhale in, folding forward. Inhale, lengthen forward. And we're going to step both feet back into a high plank. Moving from your high plank to downward facing dog. You choose how to get there. You can go via chaturanga or just straight back. And then from here, we're going to lift your right leg. And as you exhale, bring the knee to the chest, coming forward into your lunge. And then we're going to pivot on the back foot as you come into side angle. So opening the chest out to the left side of the room, revolving left side of the hips round. And from here, you can keep your elbow on the knee, or you can bring the hand inside that foot. And we're going to do 5 circles one way with that top arm. And reversing. So just working into the shoulders as well. Keep sinking those hips down, trying to have that front thigh parallel with the floor. And then from here, bring your left hand down. We're going to come back up into your lunge, and then simultaneously, we're going to start walking your right foot along the side of your mat and coming onto the outer edge of your left foot. So it's like a side plank, but you've got your right leg crossed over. We did a version of this yesterday. We kept the foot at the top of the mat. I want to take the foot just in line with the hips. And then we're going to sink down as you reach the right arm away. Inhale in, reach the arm overhead, lift the hips. Go down. Try not to let that left hip drop onto the floor. Think more about left ribs moving towards your left hand. Nice. Inhale in. Exhale in, and bend that left knee as you sit down, coming along the side of your mat, and we're coming into Gomukhasana here, so crossing that right leg over the left. Now this might not be possible for you, in which case you can have that left leg stretched out in front. You might want your block underneath your right hip, that's fine. And then from here, we're going to lift up, inhale, and exhale as you fold. Let's just have a few moments of stillness here in your Gomukhasana. From here, coming back up, take your block over to the top right hand corner, and we're going to twist out of this as you come back into your lunge, facing the top of your mat, right foot forward. There we go, well done. So from here, we're going to come back into your side angle. So you can bring your hand onto your lower back, bringing that hand inside the foot. Now if you can't get the hand inside the foot, just continue working on going deeper into the hips. We're going to have a little go with a balance here. So those of you who've got the hand towards the floor, take hold around the back of your ankle and start to thread your elbow through. And we're going to go for a bound Parshvakonasana. No, it's not Parshvakonasana. What is it? It's side angle. Okay, so maybe the bind is enough for you. Or if you want to try the balance, look to the top of your mat, press into your right foot and bring the left foot to the top of the mat. Take a moment here in your bind, lifting your right heel, coming onto the right big toes, press through left big toes and see if you can lift up into your bird of paradise. First of all, preparation as you lift up, and then maybe completing by straightening up that right leg. We're going to be continually moving, so coming down and stepping back, side angle, and from here we're going to go back high plank. Well done! Now I couldn't see you there, I'm going to watch you next time. So high plank, and you make your way back to downward facing dog. You choose how to get there. Well done. From here, lifting the left leg, inhale, exhale, knee to chest, coming forward, and we open out side angle, the other side. So left foot forward, left knee over ankle, pressing through the outer edge of your back foot, being here or here, and let's do those arm circles just to open up into that right shoulder, 5 one way. Nice big circles. And reverse in the direction. Nice. Okay, from here, we're going to face the mat once again, and then we're going to pivot on the back foot, coming onto your right hand, shuffling your left foot over to the side of the mat. We sink down, reach away, inhale, lift up, reach arm overhead, exhale, sitting down, bringing those hips towards your right hand rather than the floor. Well done, 3 more of these. Nice big movements. Use the arm to get a bigger stretch over that right side of the body. Lovely. And on your next one, we're going to lower down, coming onto your right hip, bend the right knee. I can't see you. Crossing left over. So coming into Gomukhasana. Remember, if this is too challenging for you here, then what you can do is extend that bottom leg out to the side. And folding down. It may be that you want the block underneath that higher hip, just so that you're nicely grounded. Lifting up and then fold. Let's have a few moments of stillness here. Inhaling as you come up, release your block up to the left corner of the mat, and then bring your left foot to the top corner of the mat, stepping the right foot back, coming into your lunge position, and then we're going to move back into that side angle on the left side. So again, those of you who are comfortable here, just continue working with that depth, bringing the hips down towards that left heel. Those of you who can bring the hand to the floor or as near to it that allows you to take the hand around the back of that ankle, starting to shuffle that elbow through, and maybe you can bring this left hand under to find that right hand. Coming into your bound side angle first of all, staying here if you wish, or look into that top foot, pressing into your left foot, and bringing the right foot to join the left at hip width apart. We're going to shift the weight into that right foot as you start to lift the left heel. Make sure your bind is nice and strong. Keep a bend in your right knee as you start to lift that left foot off the ground. Bring that right hip in. Use right glute to keep right hip stable. Once you're up, take a nice big breath in, straightening up your left leg. Nice. 1 breath up here. And coming down with control, stepping back into your side angle. Well done. And hands down, stepping back into your high plank. From your high plank, make your way back to downward facing dog. You choose how to get there. And from here, we're going to drop onto the knees wide, feet together. Sit yourself back into child's pose and have a moment here. Just wriggling those hips side to side. Well done. Okay, from here, downward facing dog. We're going to bring that right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip, and we're going to bring that knee to right elbow as you lower to plank, and then bring that right foot outside your right hand. Coming into lizard, drop the back knee, hugging that right knee onto the shoulder. Bring the top of that left foot onto the ground. So options here, you can stay on the hands, you can come onto your left forearm with a slight bend of the right. Watch that right shoulder doesn't twist round, so keep the chest facing the ground. Another option here, if you want something a bit deeper, you can press that top of the left foot into the mat, activate hamstrings and glutes, and lift that back knee. Going really deep into hip flexors here on that left side. Keep reaching the crown of the head and the heart forward, and then sink the hips down. 3 more breaths. Think about lengthening spine, inhale, sinking hips, exhale. Well done, 1 more breath. Drop that back knee, tuck the back toes, lift yourselves up, and then we're going to bring that right foot back into a little further into the centre line, straightening up both legs. We're going to step that left foot forward as we come into pyramid pose. So hands on the hips if the fingers don't come to the floor. If fingers come to the floor, create your little cupcake hands. Bring the elbows back as you bend them. Shoot right hip back, and then pull on the fingertips and pull the elbows back as you bring the spine forward. Fold in deeper. Well done. 2 more breaths here. So watch those hips aren't twisting around to the left side. Block at the right side here. Sorry, I should have said that to you already. You might not need your block, okay? So if your block isn't there, just try it without the block, because it's quite fun doing it this way. Those who've got the block, take both hands onto the block. Those who don't have a block, bring your left hand onto the right thigh. So we're crossing this hand over the body or the foot, and bring your right hand onto your back. So those who've got the block, make sure you've got a nice grip and bring right hand onto lower back. And then we're going to revolve the right side of the chest round as you lift this arm up to the sky. Coming into revolved triangle pose. So with a block, make sure that you're pressing down into the block and we're revolving that right side of the chest round. If you don't have a block, bring the hand onto the shin, the hand onto the ankle or the floor. Once again, spine lengthens forward, revolving, right side of the chest round. Well done. Okay, so from here, what we're going to do is bring the hands back onto the floor, and then we're going to walk those hands forward, kicking your left leg behind and folding in on your exhalation, coming into your standing split. Walking those hands closer towards that right foot. Lift that left leg and then bend the knee and bring the knees together. Lengthen forward and fold. Option here, if you like, turn the fingers to face the other way and start to walk back as you sit down, coming into humble flamingo pose. Draw that left heel to buttock. Well done. Doing an amazing job, guys. Coming forward back into that standing split, and soften both knees as you bring the left foot down to join the right. Lengthen forward. Exhale, folding in. Block at the left hand side. Press through your heels. Let's rise up. Nice and long. Exhaling as you fold. Well done. Inhale, lengthen forward. And stepping back, or whatever. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing here. Go back. And we're all going to end up in downward facing dog. I totally lost myself for a minute there. Okay, left leg lifts, bend the knee, open the hips, and we're going to glide through to lizard. As you come forward to plank, bring the left knee to left elbow, placing your left foot just outside that left hand. Drop down onto the right knee. Come onto the top of your right foot. So remember, we want to keep the chest squared off to the mat here. So if you're lowering down, that's grand, but watch that you don't twist round. Whichever option you've taken, you can try pressing that top foot, that right foot into the ground. Use hamstrings and glutes to lift that back leg and sinking those hips down. Well done. Another 3 breaths here. So you press the top of the foot into the ground, and then by using the strength in the back of that extended leg, you can get that knee lifted. It goes really deep into hamstring, hip flexors. Just an option if you need it. Okay, dropping that knee if it's there. Tucking the back toes. Bringing your left hand just outside that left foot. Shuffling the left foot a little closer into the centre line. And then we're going to lift the back leg. Bring the back leg in as you straighten up both legs. So we want that right heel down. Coming into your pyramid pose. So hands on the hips if the fingers don't reach the floor. Ribs forward, left hip back, folding in. If your hands come onto the floor, fingertips even, create your little cupcake hands. Externally rotate, upper arms, pull forward with the chest as you pull the elbows back and then fold. Ooh, this is deep. Shooting left hip back all the time, so we don't want to twist. Think about squeezing sit bones together. Lengthen and fold. Really deep into left leg there. Okay, so if you have a block, take both hands onto the block just outside your left foot. If you don't have a block, then bring your right hand onto that right shin, ankle or foot, and then we're all going to activate right triceps. Keep hips stable as you revolve that left side of the chest round. So the chest is facing the left side of the room, hips are still square. Maybe lifting that arm up if you like. If you've got your block, press down into it really strongly. We need that groundedness through the feet, the right hand, hips nice and stable, lengthen forward and we open. So we're using the stability in that right arm, the hips, to create the length in the spine. Well done. And bring the hands down either side of your left foot, a slight bend of the left knee, kicking your right leg behind. Well done. And folding in. Bend your right knee, so we've got the knees together. So we're strengthening hamstrings on the right, stretching on the left, fold in. You can stay here in your stand split, or if you want, turn the fingers to face behind you and sit the bum down as you support yourself through those fingers. Humble flamingo, super hard. So we want that front leg on the diagonal. It's so hard. Coming forward, soften both knees, bring right foot down to join the left. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale as you fold, let it go through the mouth. Inhale, press through the heels, rise and up. And we're going to exhale as we fold. Inhale, lengthen forward. And from here, go straight back, downward facing dog. Well done. From here, bend the knees, walk, step, or jump to seated, and then lie down. Woo. Okay, so going on this around the world tour of the hips. Had a little play last night with figure 4 bridge, which was really nice. Very deep, so be careful while you're doing this one. We're just going to come up into bridge for 5 breaths first of all. So we're going to have the knees directly above the ankles, toes pointing forward. Inhale, lift up here, walking up onto the shoulders. And let's keep this pretty fluid. So what I want you to do as you inhale, bring the hips down ever so slightly, tuck the tail, and as you exhale, push the chest up. Inhale, hips down, tuck the tail, so protect lower back. Exhale, push through the upper arms to lift the chest. Well done. Inhale, lower, tuck the tail. Exhale, push the chest. The hips will go up anywhere. 2 more. Inhale, lower, tuck. Exhale, push, lift. 1 more. Inhale, lower, tuck. Exhale, push and lift. Coming down from the top of the spine. And if it feels nice for you, maybe give those knees a little hug in. Have a little rock and roll. Okay, so we've done a fair bit of figure 4 stuff here. We're going to continue that. So crossing your right ankle over the left knee. Taking that right knee away from you. And we're going to come up into figure 4 bridge. So here, we're lifting the hips, lift the chest. Walking up onto those upper arms and shoulders. Pressing that right knee towards the ground. Inhale, lower hips, tuck the tail. Exhale, push chest and lower knee. Well done. Staying static, or you can do the lower, tuck, exhale, push. Inhale, lower, tuck. Exhale, push into shoulders and arms. Press right knee down. Inhale, lower, tuck. Exhale, push and press. 1 more. Uncrossing the leg and coming down from the top of the spine. Maybe knock the knees together for a moment and just take a moment here. From here, bring the right foot under the right knee, cross left foot over, pressing left knee away, lifting the hips as you walk up onto the arms, trying to interlace the fingers underneath the back. If not, just press the palms down. And we're going to inhale as you drop the hips slightly, tuck the tail, exhale, press away from the ground, press the left knee away from the ceiling. Inhale, lower, tuck, exhale, press chest and press knee away. 3 more. One more. And uncross the leg, lowering down. Well done. Knocking the knees together, feet wide, and just take a moment here. Okay, so we've done quite a lot of work on the spine and the hips, as well as a bit into the shoulders there. So let's have a go at wheel pose, see how it goes for you today. So, if you don't want to do this, you can lie down, or you can try bridge again. Those of you who want to give your wheel pose a try, we're going to bring those hands by the ears, fingers pointing towards the shoulders. I've caught my little wire here, so I'm going to end up strangling myself, which is not very yogic. Okay, so from here we're going to lift up into bridge, you know the deal, and then pressing into your hands to come into a reverse tripod headstand. So take a moment here. This might be where you are, okay? Absolutely fine. What I'd like you to do is try lowering the hips, tuck the tail, so we've got lower back nicely protected, and then press into your hands to lift the chest. If you want to come down again, you can. Lower the hips, tuck the tail, press into the hands. If you're up, stay here. You can maybe walk up onto the toes and start pulsing the chest back away from you. See how you go. Have a play for 5 more breaths. If you're super comfortable here, what you could try is turning your right toes out to the side and lifting that left leg into the air, coming into your one-legged wheel pose. And of course the other side as well. Couple more breaths here. Nice, Kath. Really nice, strong. Chest moving towards that door there, Kath. Lovely. Coming down. Coming down. Whew. And do whatever feels right for you here. We can have knees knocked together. You can have feet together, knees wide. Legs stretched out in front. Knees hug into the chest. You choose. Whatever works for you. And then wherever you are, bring the knees up towards the chest, part the knees. You can stay here, making sure that sacrum's on the ground, or if you like, you can come into happy baby, bringing those heels up above the knees, taking hold around the backs of the knees, the lower legs, ankles, or the tops of the feet there. I quite like to take hold of the insides of my feet these days, pressing those feet out as I then lower the knees down. So just a slightly different way of holding onto the feet can change your experience in the pose. Sometimes a slightly different way of viewing a situation can help you change your experience of that situation? Might it have been about this instead? It's what comes along with that curious inquiry, an openness to explore different scenarios, different points of view. And just like in the pose, you go, that works, that feels right. That's what I needed. It's the same. Exploring mentally and emotionally, you find those little click points and you're like, there I am. That's what was going on. And once again, you just know. Some people call that particular clicking into place or deeper knowing your gut instinct, communication with higher self, just that sense of knowing. Connecting back to spirit. And I chose this pose for us to transition into Shavasana because as children we have that curious inquiry. Think about how a child asks why, always asking until they get to that place of knowing. It's just the same. Bring your knees back onto the chest. Take a moment there. Have a little rock side to side. And then coming into your Shavasana. Take your time. If you need a blanket, then grab it. So take whatever you need to be comfortable here. You might want to try a different leg position, maybe coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together, knees wide. It can feel nice. Or just coming into a more traditional Shavasana, legs reaching down the mat, the feet splaying out to the side, arms reaching down the body, palms facing up, or maybe bringing your hands onto your heart, or maybe the right hand on the belly, left on the heart. Give the head a little rock side to side. And let's take 3 lovely tension releasing breaths. Inhaling through the nose. And sigh it out, let it go. 2 more. Last one. And coming into stillness now. Going back into that yin energy. As you release all control of the body, release all control over the breath, taking all of your attention now into the center of your chest, to your heart. Focusing all your attention on that space in the center of the chest, and just watch. Watch internally. See what comes up for you. Spend some time with your heart. Ask your heart what it knows, what it's got to tell you. you're enjoying being here with your heart and want to stay longer, then just drown out the sound of my voice and take as long as you need. For anybody else, we're going to start to come back. So first of all, come back into your body through your breath. Taking a nice deep breath, feel the belly rise, the chest rise, and as you exhale, let that breath spread through your whole body down to the fingers and toes. Gently moving your fingers and toes, coming back in, giving the head a little rock side to side and just rocking the body side to side, going into hips and shoulders. Taking a nice deep breath in as you reach through the arms, through the legs, pressing the feet onto the mat, maybe hugging the knees towards the chest and coming over onto one side. Take a moment there in this fetal position just to make sure that you know that you're back in the room, and then pressing your top hand into the mat, keeping the eyes closed if you can, come into seated in whatever position feels right for you, bringing the hands together into prayer position, bowing down to the heart. Really simple gratitude practice today. Take a breath in and be grateful for anything at all. Maybe even a few things. And then from here, we'll take a breath together to unite us before we leave. Inhaling. Exhaling, gently blinking the eyes open. Thank you guys so much for sharing with me today. Namaste. Okay, have a wonderful day and rest of weekend if I don't see you. We've got pranayama meditation tomorrow at 9, so I'm sure some of you will be there. But if I don't see you, then have a great one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Lovely to see you.